Good night, everybody. So it's Saturday evening, right before the end of Shabbos, and I'm standing right by the front door of the dining hall at my Jewish Orthodox Zionist camp, because I want to be the first one in for dinner, as Gila Mousekopf comes jumping through the hallway and is like, "Oh my gosh, are you so excited for the night activity?" Of course I'm excited, but I'm trying to play it cool. I'm so excited and not even a little bit scared. I am 7 years old, and it's my first time away from home. I'm going to this Jewish Zionist Orthodox camp, which all of my friends went to. And it was gonna be awesome. It was like 3 days in the wilderness, 4 hours of prayer a day. It was gonna be the best. And this kind of rite of passage, like the most important part of this camp, was the nighttime activity, which went a little bit as follows. We were pretending to be Jews, trying to escape the Holocaust to get to Israel. So let me just clarify this. I was living in Austria at the time, so we were Jews pretending to escape the Holocaust in a rural province in Austria, 40 years or so after the Holocaust. I know this sounds messed up, but this was totally normal for me. So we were sitting at dinner, and Gila is even kind of sort of talking to me, and I'm trying to play it cool, so afterwards we all go back to the dorms, and she pulls me aside and she says, "Valentina, you're not gonna die tonight because you're on my team." That felt so reassuring to me. So when we got back to the dorms, we put on all of our clothes, partially because it was freezing outside and partially for realism's sake. Remember that scene where the Von Trapp family is escaping Austria through this beautiful sunny mountain range? It was kind of like that, except for cold and dark and wet. Okay, so the way this game was set up, it was basically different stations that were manned by the counselors who dressed up as Nazis. And you had to win every stage to move forward. Only one team made it to Israel at the end because everybody else had been pretend murdered by the pretend Nazis. So, we get to the first stage, and there are these three pretend Nazis dressed up in fatigue, screaming at us, getting in our faces, "Zau Juden!" They're calling us pig Jews in German. "Zau Juden, where are you going?" And we all held hands, and we, with much conviction, we said, "We're going to the Holy Land. We're going to Israel." And to make sure that they really knew we were being true, we literally laid down on the ground and made a map of Israel with our bodies. Only then were they certain that we were true, and they let us go to the next station. So as we were walking through the woods in the dark, I'm trying to keep up with everyone playing it really cool, I hear these muffled cries behind me, and I look, and Eli Bauer, the son of the chief rabbi in Vienna, is being dragged away by pretend Nazis. So our group leader says, "Run, run, run." So we start running. Of course, I'm not the fastest one in the group, but I'm trying to keep up because I don't want to go to concentration camp. And we sort of team up at the end, and we get together, and everyone's very serious, and they said, "There's nothing we can do for Eli. But we have to make it to Israel." Okay, that's cool. We're gonna make it to Israel. The next station was the trivia section. Why pretend Nazis were doing Holocaust trivia with a bunch of runaway Jews is a little beyond me, but this section was easy. We had the answers to these questions imprinted in our minds since we were tiny. How many Jews? 6 million. What year did Israel become a state? 1948. We aced the section. We were one step closer to winning. So we move on to the next station. It's this big field. It's dark out. It's cold. It's starting to rain a little bit. And on the other side of the field, there's a Nazi/counselor up in a tree with one of those big industrial lamps, like in those old prison movies, the light is shining across the field. And the point of this station was to run as fast as you could across the field, because if you get touched by the light, concentration camp. So you basically, all the kids one by one start booking it, just like running across the field as fast as they could, but me, again, not the fastest runner. I'm sort of like army crawling my way to like the corner. When Gila Mousekopf, there she is again, grabs me by the hand and says, run from the Nazis, go! And I start running, and I'm not only dodging the light, but there's also these giant piles of cow dung everywhere, and I'm dodging those too, when all of a sudden, I just land head first into a pile of cow poop. Not just a little bit, not just my clothes, but actually skin on poop. And the light touches me, and I get taken away. Gila Mousekopf tries to encourage me. She says, "Don't cry, Valentina. There's always next year." So, all of this didn't strike me as weird. Jewish camps are not supposed to be fun. They're supposed to ensure the cultural survival of the Jewish people. But I didn't quite realize how messed up this was until my parents, when we moved to the US a few years later, they decided to send me to a YMCA camp. So how I went from like an Orthodox Jewish Zionist camp to a young Christian Men's Association camp, I don't know. But, I learned a lot of things. We learned about lanyards and canoeing and archery. And then when it was time for the night activity, I was really excited. Like, I didn't know, was it going to be a competition? What was it going to be? But in the end, the night activity was just us making a bunch of s'mores, holding hands, and singing "Leaving on a Jet Plane" by James Taylor. Thank you.